Hey guys, in this video, I'll be talking about the highly anticipated VFC AKS74U. Now we are expecting this to be the same, if not even better than their amazing 74M. Have they stolen the AK market once again? Let's find out. Weighing in at 5 pounds and 1.9 ounces, or 2.3 kilograms, the receiver and everything that is supposed to be made out of steel is steel. The wooden handguards are beautiful. They're retained with steel reinforcements. If you look at the upper handguard, it's actually a little deformed. You can actually see the piston move in the gas block's holes, which is pretty cool. The pistol grip is probably the ugliest thing on this replica. It looks pretty plasticky. The steel triangle stock looks perfect on this, though mine does wobble a good amount. The 74U iron sights are replicated really well. There are two elevation positions. The controls look great, but I think the teeth on the selector are slightly off spec, as the path isn't centered on the indents. It's just a nitpick. Everything else looks right to me though. There are two sling points, one on the right side of the stock and left side of the front gas block. The finish looks amazing. VFC has always been great with externals, and this one is no exception. Let's see how durable this finish is though. Oh oops, wrong tool. Despite the really thick paint, with a flathead, I was able to expose bare metal, so it's not very scratch resistant. The engravings are beautiful. They're on the receiver, handguard, bolt, and even on the gas tube, which is hidden most of the time. The 8-inch outer barrel is steel. The replica comes with the iconic steel 74U flash hider / booster. If you didn't know, the inside is supposed to not be painted. There are 14mm threads for any muzzle device you might want. Overall, the externals are nothing but beautiful. Sometimes I forget that this is only an airsoft gun, as it looks and feels amazing. But that shouldn't be a surprise given the price point. I guess you can say that
it looks and feels like a real MP5.
Alright, let's take a look at the internals now. To feel stripped for repairs and maintenance, push the dust cover button in and lift the dust cover up. Then take the recoil spring and bolt carrier out. You can also easily take the top handguard off, but that's optional. Internally, everything in the fire control group is made out of steel. The bolt carrier is made out of CNC'd steel. This is basically the 74M bolt, but with a shorter piston. After a little over 4,000 rounds, there isn't any concerning wear that I can see. As a matter of fact, it looks new. Holding the bolt back will give you access to the hop-up adjustment. Turning the wheel into the gun will increase the hop-up. The wheel is pretty stiff, so it shouldn't self-adjust. To get to the hop-up, remove these two screws here. Then slightly push on the inner barrel in the front and wiggle the hop-up through the back. Now use something flat to pry open the shell. Next, the adjustment wheel can come forward and the nub will fall out. Then just slide the shell forward. This is the standard VFC black aluminum barrel and VFC blue bucking combo. The inner barrel is 250mm long. The replica is still compatible with any GBB spec inner barrels and buckings. To get to the nozzle, remove the screw in the back. Now remove the nozzle stop screw. Next, pull the nozzle out. Finally, punching these two pins out will spill the guts. Be careful, as parts will literally start spilling out as you punch the pin. This is a pretty standard VFC nozzle design. Now you can install your adjustable nozzle. If you are anything like me, you hate the wood and want to get rid of it. Just kidding, please don't destroy me in the comments. Or do, so I can get more engagement. Anyways, some modernization is nice to have. Real steel pistol grips will fit. On mine, I have the 5KU PK3. It fits on using an included screw, without needing any modification. This grip looks pretty cool, but it doesn't feel very cool. I would go with something else. For stocks, real steel 4.5mm pin stocks will fit. For mine, I have a replica PT1. I think it's 5KU, but I can't confirm. It did need a few shimming on the pin for it to fit. For handguards, real steel will also fit. I have a 5KU B11. It fits on without any modification, and just needed some love tab at the front to fit into the retainer. It does wobble up and down slightly, so you will want to add some tape to shim it. For the optic mount, I have the 5KU B18. It fits with no modification needed. Real steel mounts will probably fit, but I can't confirm. Since I got the quick release selector from VFC, I'll show you how to swap it out. Prepare yourself. And yep, that's all you have to do to change it out. Since the 74U doesn't have a fake rate reducer, you can just rotate the selector out. Remember the peening that everyone freaked out about? They have shortened the bolt on the left side slightly, so it doesn't happen anymore. Aside from that, I've noticed really sticky full auto out of the box, where it would stutter and sometimes the hammer would just not lock back during firing. But this went away after a few hundred rounds for me. So when you get yours, if it's sticky, just keep using it to see if it gets better. And make sure to lube your valves. Once it's broken in, this is how the full auto should perform. I mean, look at that. It's like a sewing machine. Another issue is new magazines being stuck in the replica. I think this is either due to the really tight tolerance or thick paint. This was also present on my 74M. It will get better over time. You can add some grease to help for the time being. Lastly, the magazines are still coming with valves that are drier than California. I'll show you how to lube yours. First, punch out these two pins. They are knurled on one side, so if it's not coming out, switch to the other side. Next, remove the two top screws. Now the cover can come off. Make sure to take it off slowly as there are springs. The transfer lever spring is now bent in, so that's nice. For some reason, the notch on the valve on these plumb mags are smaller, therefore requiring you to slightly sand off the teeth of your valve tool. Luckily, these common valve tools are really soft. I was able to sand the teeth off with a hand fouler in less than 10 seconds. Now remove the valve. When the valve comes out, sometimes it leaves an O-ring behind, so don't forget about that. Next, remove the C-clips carefully so it doesn't launch into another universe. Once it's removed, everything will come out. This is the O-ring that needs lubing. I recommend using a 50-50 mixture of super lube grease and oil for this. I noticed that the replica performed a lot better after being lubed, so be sure to lube it. I use Super Lube PTFE. Man, they should sponsor me at this point. The magazine weighs 388 grams empty, holds 42 BBs, and can hold up to 42 grams of gas. The gas inlet is on the back, and you can load BBs with any normal speed loader. There's also a dry firing switch, which you can turn on by holding the feed track down and pushing the switch forward. To deactivate it, just hold the feed track down again and push the switch back. Also, future me here, I just found out that you can actually get 56 grams of gas, which is insane and will cause siphoning, so don't do that. A short stroke buffer is included, which comes installed. To remove it, you can just wiggle it out. Installing it will be the reverse. The buffer will short stroke the cycling of your AK. It makes the recoil impulse very snappy, but with a less heavy kick. Personally, I wouldn't use it until it gets really cold, where it would dramatically improve the shooting experience and cycling. This part is totally not at the end of this segment because I completely forgot about it. Okay, let's move on. The AK magazine release works great, and it can be used ambidextrously. Just like any other AKs, the mag has to be rocked in and out. The selector is pretty stiff. You probably won't be able to actuate it with just your index finger. The bolt travel is pretty smooth. Racking it is pretty satisfying. The trigger is definitely an AK trigger. It's a clean pull to a non-discernible wall, but it does reset with a good click. The hammer does drop when the magazine is empty. Pressing this button allows the stock to fold out, and pushing it into this latch locks it. Unlocking it is as simple as pulling the tab back and rotating the stock out. With 44 grams of gas in the magazine, the replica was able to fire off a whopping 335 shots, at slightly below room temperature. That's almost 8 magazines worth of 42 BBs in one good fill of gas. Holy moly. This is in an interval of 45 shots each time, with a random shooting cadence. I did let the magazine heat back up after every 45 rounds. At room temperature, the replica blasts through without any signs of cooldown. At near freezing, the replica is noticeably slower since you can't really defeat thermodynamics. But the included buffer can make the experience a lot better. The recoil is probably my favorite thing on this replica. This stands as one of the best gas blowback recoils I've experienced, and I've used a lot of replicas. Basically, it's a very snappy and heavy thump in your shoulder every time. It's great. The buffer will make it kick less, but even more snappy. Just use it if you like. Also, there's like 0 bolt bounce, which is always nice. Here are some comparisons for reference. At around 100 feet out, with .32s, the groupings are really good. This was taken on a really windy day too. Prior to this testing, I did open up the hop-up and cleaned everything. The bucking is also worn in. With .2s, you can see a slightly bigger grouping. Just use the heaviest BBs you can. The hop can definitely hop some heavy BBs. With .32s, the replica averaged at 263 FPS, which is basically 80 meters per second, or 1.02 joules. With .2s, the replica averaged at 305 FPS, which is 93 meters per second, and 0.86 joules. Plug your ears. Let's start with the pros. The externals are nothing but amazing. Internals are all steel with good design decisions, easy access to hop up, magazines are light, hold 42 rounds, and up to 42 grams of gas. The controls feels really nice, especially the charging action. The gas efficiency is insane. It has one of the best recoil from a GBBR. The groupings are really good, and it's 1-to-1. So parts are compatible with real steel. Alright, let's start complaining. I would like to see better QC, as magazines are still coming out dry. This really sucks because it makes a noticeable difference in performance. Also, it was hell to remove the stock pin for mine, and there is no end pass out of the box. I mean, what else do I even complain about here? In conclusion, I love it. The build is great, and the shooting experience is amazing. It was also really nice to see all of the improvements that they have made from the 74M. It truly is one of the best gas blowbacks. But let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, consider subscribing and liking to help support my work here. As always, thanks for watching.